Oh, good morning, everybody. Bill from WWP Reacts. I haven't been on for a little bit. It's been a little bit busy times, with the government coming back open, and my role not in the government but supporting the government has gotten quite busier. But I wanted to come on today because I live in Georgia, as you see behind me there, that little side Georgia. I'm on the northeast side of Georgia. And I want to talk a little bit of Marjorie Taylor Greene in her resignation notice yesterday, and I find it sad. I read her statement to the people of her constituency, which is in the northwest corner of Georgia, a very conservative area, kind of like the area I'm in, extremely conservative. And she didn't come out of nowhere. I mean, her family has been around for a long time, I believe in industry, construction industry, very successful in that area. Eh, Millions of dollars. I mean, she didn't need to go and serve in Congress, but she did. And so, what I want to do is, I want to get into her statement and kind of dissect some of the things she says and how I feel that hurts the conservative movement in America. And it's upsetting that this all kind of happened over the Epstein thing, but it also happened over really a one party system, right? That all these bills that these very conservative people are putting in sit in a tray, and the Speaker of the House, Johnson, doesn't bring them to the floor for a vote. And it's because he's afraid of the Democrats, I guess. He's afraid of the liberals. Um, this is how we've always been as Republicans. We let the Democrats push us around. And this was one lady who at times I didn't agree with, totally didn't agree with, but she didn't let anyone push her around, which I thought was commendable. Even even with ties together. I mean, she was the one and only that stood up for us really during the COVID hysteria and the vaccine mandates that caused folks like myself to keep my job back then, and millions of others from having to get the jab or not support my family in the position that I had worked my whole life, 34 years of my life as a reserve and active duty Army officer to do. So with that, let's jump right into her statement as it was played yesterday, and I'm going to just make it large here, and then I'm going to hit play, and then I'll stop it and we'll talk. It's only 11 minutes long. We probably won't go through the whole thing, but I just wanted to share some of my thoughts on her resignation. She's not going to run after 2026. She's going to resign January 5th, I believe, 2026. Will be her last day in office about a month and a half from now. And that's really sad for America, in my opinion.
The post that she put up moments ago. This is her message to Georgia's 14th district. She is saying thank you to her constituents again. She wrote that long note on social media. She also released the video attached to this post. We just got the video in-house. Let's play it. This is the full thing.
Hi, everyone. I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C., and just never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political
So this is something I totally agree with. I mean, I've been voting since what, 19? Well, I became a citizen in '87, so I couldn't vote till '88. But I've been in America since 1971. I'm a Canadian, naturalized citizen. Um, Served in the military, like I said, since 1979. 8 years of my time, my reserve time, I was not a citizen. I was a green card holder from Canada who had immigrated here when my dad came down as a physician because the city of Boston needed doctors. Um, so with that, I agree with her 100%. We, the political system is not geared for you and me. It's geared for the political industrial complex, she says. And I'm not going to dwell on that. Let's move
Political
on.
pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher, corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas.
Yeah, talk about the debt, right? 2000, um, prior to 9/11. I think the debt has quadrupled since then. For what? I went to war, two wars after that. Lost a lot of friends. A lot of friends maimed and injured. Never be the same in their lives. Previous wars, they would have died. We would have had numbers of death more than Vietnam. But because of our medical advances and that bubble, that 60-minute bubble to get service members out of harm's way after being injured, they survived. And I'm talking about mass amputations. People survived that would never have survived in the jungles of Vietnam with the medical advances we have today. And so the injured numbers are staggering. But going back to the debt has quadrupled really since then. And I think over the last 10 years, so from uh, Trump 1, Biden, now Trump 2, the debt has tripled during that time. So what does that say? It says they don't care about us. Because the debt doesn't hurt me, it hurts my grandkids. I have 4 grandkids. It hurts them already. And she's going to talk about this, so I'm going to not steal her thunder.
Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest, and the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today,
I'll say this to Marjorie Taylor Greene, though. That is just not current, right? That started when me and my wife got married in '85. Um, we both had to work to raise a family of 4 and to own a home, have the American dream. So therefore, we had to have 2 cars, right? We had to pay for daycare. It was expensive back then, not as expensive as now, but based on what you made, it was a lot. Um, the last generation that could do it was my parents' generation. My mother did not have to work. My mother did not work until I was in high school, really. It's just because she wanted to work and get out of the house. But she never worked from the time I was born in 1961 until about the mid 70s. Um, and I think she went back to work because I was the oldest and I could take care of the younger children, my brother and sister, when they came back from school in the afternoon. I could be there for them. So I was the latchkey kid, right? But I was pretty responsible as an athlete. I did good in school. I kept my nose clean. I was definitely afraid of offending my father, um, because that was instilled in me by my father and my grandfather. So America's really changed, and it's not changed for the betterment. And I think it's just getting worse. I do not know. I don't know how. Well, I know my son. They both work. My daughter. They both work. And they live in more modest homes than I was able to raise my children in.
many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream. And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies because I believe God creates life at conception and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I've fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars.
So those are huge, because those are all things that executive orders that Trump put in, right? Now, executive orders can get overturned. If a Democrat comes in, they can overturn all those executive orders. What she did, she codified those executive orders into bills in Congress that are sitting on Mike Johnson's desk that he won't bring for a vote. Our First Amendment rights, our Second Amendment rights, right to life at conception, um, and all the other things she just talked about. So God bless her. She did a great job writing these bills over the 6 years. That is a lot to do in 6 years. Most junior representatives do not do that. Why? Because they want to keep their nose clean. They don't want to ruffle feathers because they want to have a career in the political industrial complex and make millions of dollars. She said, no, I want to do it, make a difference. I'm coming here because my constituents said this is what we want. And she's fed up. Now, it's kind of sad, and I'll talk about that in a second.
However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season.
Exactly. Mike Johnson sent all representatives on vacation during the shutdown. They should have been working and voting on bills that could go to the Senate and go other places after the government got back open. But instead, they wasted 8 weeks. Unbelievable. Mike Johnson should be fired. I mean, it just seems the Speaker of the House, since McCarthy and going back to that idiot from Wisconsin, they're just feckless wonders.
Season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass the plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once.
Right on, Marjorie. Right on. You're totally spot on. And it was Mike Johnson, period, that said we are not going to work. Why? Because we're going to be little babies. That's what I think of Mike Johnson. He's a little baby. He's a little whiner.
Again, from both sides of the aisle on television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas. Just sit. They all sit collecting dust.
Isn't that amazing? Those are all great things, right? Those are the things that we want as Americans. We want English to be our language. And unfortunately, Sharia law is coming into cities and states. It's ridiculous. Well, America, we got to wake up. Everything she talks about is right for America. It keeps America where it once was, the pinnacle of politics in the world, the greatest country in the world.
That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points. Because they know how much credit card debt they have, they know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually do their own grocery shopping and know food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house. They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big six-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid. These are the people I represent.
All of that is so true and so spot on. I mean, she just says it so eloquently. Absolutely.
And love, because that is who all of my family and friends are, common Americans. I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind hearted, God fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans. I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he facilitated dangerous open border invasion into America. And I led the effort to defund hard left politically biased NPR and PBS and the corrupt USAID, and I did that as chair of the DOJ subcommittee. I have fought harder than almost any other elected Republican to elect the election. And I will never forget the day I had to leave my mother's side as my father had brain surgery to remove cancerous tumors in order to fly to Washington, D.C. to defend President Trump and vote no against the Democrats' second impeachment in 2021. My poor father and my poor mother, it was way too much for all of us. Through it all,
That is so sad because of the hoax impeachment shit that the Democrats did against Trump won. What a joke.
I never changed or went back on my campaign promises and only disagreed in a few areas, like my stance against H-1Bs replacing American jobs, AI state moratoriums, debt for life 50-year mortgage scams, standing strongly against all involvement in foreign wars, and demanding the release of the Epstein files. Other than that, my voting record has been solidly with my party and the president. Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and
Absolutely. And this is one of the things I love Trump president. I don't get me wrong. I think he's very much needed for America at this time. But sometimes he does not appear to be loyal to the people that were loyal to him. This woman was over the top loyal to him. And at the time I said, you're crazy. Why are you being so over the top loyal to this man? I mean, he has his faults. He's human like all the rest of us. He does some great things. He's very over the top, not tiring. I mean, he just goes and goes and goes. I don't know how he does it, but he's a great man. I've read everything about him. Uh, I read The Art of the Deal like when it first came out, right? Because he was the man and he is the man. And but he's not loyal to people like her. As soon as she turned on the Epstein thing, you can read all the New York Times articles about it. You can read all the New York Post articles about it. Trump turned on her like a dime. Sad.
represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative. America First should mean America First and only Americans first, with no other foreign country ever being attached to America First in our halls of government. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States.
That's exactly that. That was a turning point. I think that's what made her decide to resign. I mean, she defended these young girls. There's, I guess, thousands of these young girls that were teens that were flown off and sex trafficked at that island with powerful men. I mean, you see the list. It's ridiculous. Schumer, um, Prince Andrew. The list goes on and on. Big Bill Gates. You know, these are they all pedophiles? I hate to think of that, but it seems like they are. And they're the first one to condemn pedophiles, of course. But they are pedophiles. If they did what has been alleged, then they're pedophiles. Period. The chomos, right? The chomos. Period.
Whom I fought for. However, while yes, hurtful, My heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged because my self worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God who created everything in existence. You see, I have never valued power, titles, or attention in spite of all the wrong assumptions about me. I do not cling to those things because they are meaningless and empty traps that hold too many people in Washington. I believe in term limits and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career or an assisted living facility. My only goal and desire has ever been to.
You gotta love that assisted living. You look like people like Nancy Pelosi and these other like freaking the old Speaker of the House. I mean, Senate President. Oh, Mitch McConnell. Look at all these old bags. Like, what the hell are they still doing there? Jean Shaheen from New Hampshire. She's not running it, but she's been there forever. Oh my God, Bernie Sanders. What the fuck? Jesus Christ, Bernie, go back to Vermont and milk some cows. Do fucking something. This should not be a nursing home.
Hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women. With that has brought years of non-stop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day. It has been unfair and wrong, not only to me, but especially to my family, but it's been wrong to my district as well. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well. There is no plan to save the world or a 4D chess game being played. When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country, and instead the reality is that they, common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington, then I'll be here by their.
Well, that is so profound. What a statement there. I mean, God, God bless her. And the death threats, all that. But she's so right. We control the destiny. But we are the ones who vote in these neocons, these elderly shitbags. We vote them in. Why? Because we, the conservatives, don't get out and vote like the Dems. We don't care as much as the libs and the inner city thugs and the poor downtrodden. Bullshit. They get out and vote. They vote illegally even. But no one gives a fuck. We got to change America. And I don't mean violently, but we need to take back the voting booth and become the country of the 50s. We need to, or else this country's going to die.
Side to rebuild it. Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
So the only, I mean, that's quite a statement, right? Quite a thing going on there. The only thing I will say is you don't see AOC and the squad packing up because they don't get their way. Now, I think I really wish Marjorie would stay and keep fighting the fight. Don't take your ball and go home because, Trump threatened you. Keep fighting. What do you have to lose? You've had death threats already. So keep fighting Donald Trump. Keep fighting the left. Keep fighting. We need fighters like you and what's her name, Mace, and some of the others that are in the House. We need strong conservative females in the House that will fight for women's rights, for my granddaughter's rights, and I have 3 out of 4 are granddaughters, and we need people to fight that America's first. Anyways, with that, thank you for listening. I hope you found this enjoyable. If you did, please like and subscribe, and share my channel with friends. I'm growing it. It's been fun. It's a fun little project. And again, my name is Bill. WWP Reacts. WWP is my initials. And I love America, and I know you all do too. God bless and have a great day.